Vicky goes on and on with Vicky Stokes and James Wells. I agree with you. And also, I think that quite a lot of podcasts seem to be about COVID-19 and about lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad
some of them work really well.
I'm glad,
like Grounded with Louis Theroux, but
but he doesn't talk about it that much.
No, it's just that was the like with us. I suppose.
Well, I'm glad we started with that. That was the one we started with, but we did make a point of saying,
Well, we're obviously going to mention it, just like Louis does.
So it was almost like, okay, well, let's get this one out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we kind of touched upon it on pubs, but we haven't. That's why I thought it might be good to do this one tonight, because it's just a subject that you don't have to talk about COVID at all.
No.
So
it's true, because this has been plaguing me for many years. So, you know, I'm going to introduce the topic, which is the Dolly Parton song, Jolene. But I feel like I couldn't just say on Jolene, because there's a lot of context involved, right? And the context is...
But fundamentally, you're bothered about this song, aren't you?
No, I'm not bothered. I love this song. The context is, I listened to Smooth FM. Before that, it was Melody.
Melody?
Is that a
station?
It was 105.4 Melody.
Oh, was that the name?
And then it turned into same
okay.
bloody songs.
Okay.
You know, it's all the usual lovely middle of the road. Bread is off and on.
Yeah.
You know that Frankie Valli song, My Eyes Adored You?
Yes.
Because I didn't know what he was saying.
What did you think he was saying?
I thought he was saying like the eyes of Dora. Or something. I don't know.
It's almost very
really quiet.
Yeah. And he kind of he blends his words. They go.
He does, because he's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
I think, because it's Jersey Boys. Yeah. I went to the theatre.
4 Seasons. Did you?
One time. Anyway, so Jolene is on at least once a day, and it's not a problem because I love it.
It's a great song. It's a great song.
Every time it comes on, I think, who is this Jolene? And what is going on? And the older I get and the more I listen to it, and now, you can listen to it whenever, right? You don't have to wait for the radio station to play it.
Yeah.
I just kind of, but I don't really seek it out, but I just spend so much time thinking, whenever it's on, I don't really listen to it anymore. I just sit there kind of like analysing it, just thinking like, so many unanswered questions about this Jolene character and about, the singer, the protagonist, i.e. Dolly, let's say. Although of course, come on, it isn't Dolly. Dolly ain't wearing Jolene.
So you say that.
Well, but I know what you're going to say.
Well, so she does say, doesn't she? She said in interviews that it's written about so Jolene was like a bank assistant who was flirting with her husband.
Yes. Well, I only know that because you told me that there was a series on Netflix that was what is it, 6 episodes or something?
So there's a drama series on Netflix called Heartstrings, Dolly Parton's Heartstrings, and to be honest, I only came across this after watching the Dolly Parton documentary that's on Netflix, and each episode is based on a Dolly Parton song. And features Dolly Parton songs.
Number one.
First episode is Jolene. And knowing that you've got a thing about this song, because, I mean, you wrote a blog about this as well.
I did, yes. Yeah.
I told you, I was like, oh, my God, you've got to watch this episode. It's all about Jolene.
And I did last night.
But it's based on the song. It's not...
No, I know. But at the beginning, Dolly introduces, I assume, every episode. I only watched the one.
Yeah, a bit like Rod Sterling in the Twilight Zone, but not as creepy. Yeah.
Well, but it does start with like
the mannequins
the intro, and it's all like Dolly Parton. What's it called? Dollywood.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love her so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but I don't really know a lot of her oeuvre. I know basically because I watched that film Dumpling.
Right, okay.
Have you seen it? It's
No,
really
not
good. It's
yet.
loads
Yeah.
of Dolly Parton's. Well, if you're going to be on a
That's
Dolly
Netflix, isn't it,
vibe,
as well?
yeah, it is. Yeah,
Maybe
it's
Netflix
good.
did some deal with Dolly, and a Dolly deal,
Dollywood
and
Dolly deal.
and she's got loads of pies,
Yeah,
fingers in pies at the
pies and fingers.
Netflix
Yeah,
office. Yeah.
maybe. Well, I don't. No one knows how they work.
No,
Netflix.
no.
They're very like
mysterious.
suspicious. Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, because I mean, sometimes they don't even announce things. You'll just be like, "Oh fucking hell,
No,
when
I
did this
know.
series come up?" Oh,
And then
Jesus. Like,
sometimes
they
it
only
sends
ever
me all
announce
these bloody
Stranger
reminders.
Things or
Oh.
Better Call Saul. That's about it.
I like both of those shows, but come on.
But they announce their like big stuff, don't they?
But also
But
they just
they're not
cancel
gonna.
things willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Wankers.
Yeah, but they're not going to announce something like Dolly Parton's Heartstrings. That's what I'm
Well, they
saying.
should.
There's not going to be a massive billboard of that, is there?
Well,
but they
they're
should, because
missing a
actually,
trick.
it wasn't a bad
She's very
episode.
popular. No, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I'm going to very quickly talk about the show first, because it's not canon as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
But what was interesting about the show, it is a spin-off.
Dolly
it's a
spin-off.
reboot.
Yeah.
It's a reboot. Everything's a reboot now.
Yeah.
Well, what I thought was interesting, and you and I briefly discussed yesterday over WhatsApp, was you have much more sympathy for the Jolene character in the show.
Yeah.
That made me go, do you know, I've never, ever thought about this song from Jolene's point of view.
Yeah.
Because it's not her song, is it? It's about her, but it's not her, it's nothing to do with her, really.
No. But when you wrote that blog, for the first time, you kind of drew me to the fact that there are actual layers in this song. Like, if you think far too much about it, they're genuinely. So as you say, the show, the episode made her very sympathetic.
Yes.
And we both felt sorry for her. Spoiler: it all works out in the end.
Yeah.
But even that raised questions about who was the wrong person. And I think fundamentally that is a lot of what the song is. If you look at it, so
well, through that lens, yeah.
And that's the thing.
I mean, I've only ever taken it as the song, of course, until yesterday.
So
I feel like this is exercising a lot of Jolene demons, and maybe the next time it comes on, i.e. tomorrow, maybe I won't have these overwhelming thoughts about it.
I mean, if we're going to talk about it for an
like
hour,
yeah,
I'd like to think
I really hope so.
Exercise.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
It's a great song, but just every time it comes on, I'm just sitting there thinking. I mean, I think a lot anyway.
Let's acknowledge the fact that the beginning riff is very good and very recognisable.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm not into country music, but that's great.
Also, it's a song that starts off with its chorus.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're the musician out of you and I, so I mean, I'm like, I could play London's Burning on the recorder.
It works really well, doesn't it? Like, it starts off with its chorus, and then it goes into so she says, "I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Please don't take him just because you can." And then it goes into the first verse, which is your beauty is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair, with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. So the first verse is describing her. I mean, when you first listen to it, and it has, over the years, it's become a thing of, okay, well, Jolene's definitely the hussy. She's the villain of the song.
Of course, yeah.
But actually, as you go through the song,
which I never thought that she was a hussy, actually. I mean, I do agree that this has been many years in the making, you see. So maybe the first few times I thought about it, I was like, oh, Jolene, man, what a bitch. And then I thought, hang on a minute, Jolene isn't the problem here. If anyone's the problem, it's the husband.
Well, so later on, she's saying, talks about you in his sleep. There's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name.
When he calls your name,
Jolene.
So it was this bit. He talks about you in his sleep that first made me sort of sit up and listen to the lyrics, right?
Okay.
Because I do think, who cares? Also, you know that Pretenders song, "You've been talking in your sleep."
Yes.
Right? I always think, and because one of my brothers talks in his sleep, or used to, and
Yeah.
you could have whole conversations with him. They made no sense, but he would respond. So I just think, well, talking in your sleep don't mean nothing. Doesn't mean anything.
And that's the thing. You could be having a
That's
weird
what made me
dream, couldn't
first be
you?
like,
Yeah.
exactly. He could be like, "Oh,
Mm.
Jolene, no, why have you turned into a monster? Oh my God,
Yeah.
Jolene, I hate you." You
Yeah.
know, in the rest of his
Yeah.
dream.
I mean,
So,
if he was in bed going, "Oh, Jolene, oh, Jolene," then you'd be like, "But there's no." She doesn't
red flags.
elaborate. No, but she doesn't.
No.
She doesn't elaborate on. Is it sexual when he says the name, or is it more
Well,
just kind of like,
exactly. I mean,
you know,
listen.
or is Jolene gonna be like? Is it gonna be like Michael Jackson's Thriller? She's gonna fucking wake up and Jolene's a fucking werewolf or some shit, you know.
Is it in
I'm not
the
like
Pretender
other
song?
guys.
Is it in the Pretender song where they say, "Dreamers don't lie" or "Sleepers don't lie"? It must be that song.
Actually,
And
thinking
I
about
just,
it, talking in your
yeah,
sleep, that wasn't Pretenders, that was Crystal Gale, wasn't it? Oh, here she
well,
goes. She's Googling.
yeah,
So what were you going to say about the other song?
it
Has
is
that
Crystal Gale, but
has that,
that's
got
not the
what?
version I've been listening to.
Has that got werewolves in it as well? Then this other Pretender song that you're
No, I think maybe it's just Chrissy Hind
maybe she did a cover.
sang it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm
Um,
just making it all up.
maybe.
Who knows? I'm willing to be proven wrong. Yes. So anyway, sleep talking don't mean shit.
Yeah. But, and actually, when the song finishes, if you go back and you look at the lyrics, there's no evidence in that song that the bloke is actually having an affair with Jolene, and
Absolutely.
as the program showed, he just fancied Jolene. He never actually cheated on the wife. This is
Yeah.
why I think there's so many layers, because you could look at Jolene as being the villain, the
Yes.
seductive
Femme
person.
fatale.
Yeah, the femme fatale. You've got
Yeah.
the husband who's either having an affair or he's thinking about having an affair, which just he's a dick, or is
Well,
he,
or he
or is
just
the
thinks she's quite attractive, and
yeah.
you're allowed to think that
You're
other
allowed
women
to
are
have a
attractive.
dream. You've got to have
Well,
a dream. If you can't have a
no,
dream,
but you know what I mean,
how can
right?
you have a
Like,
dream come true?
I
But
mean, look,
also, what
of the
about
two of us, you're the one that's married, right? And I'm the coaches don't play. Okay, so
yeah.
I'm the eternally single one.
Yeah.
But I do think, and so please do correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
you're allowed to objectively think that something is attractive, whether that be a woman, a man, a car, a goat. You can think, oh, that's a nice looking
Yeah.
glass.
Yeah.
And I know that objectifies people, but that is part of what physical attraction is that you are objectifying people for, even if it's just for a split second.
Yeah.
And I mean, look, I'm not, whatever your persuasions are, if their beauty is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair and ivory skin and eyes of emerald green, with a smile like a breath of spring and a voice soft like summer rain, I wanna chat to this woman and see what
Yeah.
I mean, she sounds
What?
like some sort of ethereal,
Yeah, like being like she's fucking
yeah,
and
like a seductress,
and
a
this comes to my other
demon.
point,
Ooh,
is the
yeah.
third factor in this song is that quite possibly the narrator or the singer or Dolly,
Yeah, the protagonist,
the protagonist,
if we
is
want to be.
very, very insecure.
Yes,
Do you not
of
think
course.
that
Yeah,
could
of course.
be
She's got low
because
self-esteem.
actually the husband could be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Well, look, here's another thing that I just thought of
Yeah,
whilst we were talking. Apart from he talks about you in his sleep, the content of which we don't know, right? We do not hear from Jolene at all.
no,
She doesn't get a chance to defend herself and
no,
say, well, and why should she defend herself? But you know what I mean? The
yeah,
only person we're hearing from is the narrator,
yeah,
who is basically just saying, Jolene, I'm in awe of you, and you make me feel really insecure, and I have
Yeah.
low self-esteem anyway.
Yeah.
And more to the point, and I think this is the thing that I thought about most during my decades-long obsession with thinking about this song every time I heard it, is let's think that the husband does want to cheat on, let's say, Dolly,
Yeah.
with Jolene.
Yeah.
Well, then fuck him. You know that Brandy and
He's not
Monica
worth
song,
it,
"The
is he?
Boy Is Mine"? Well, I just, I know you should fight for your love or whatever, but not to this extent.
Well,
Do you remember "The
she
Boy
says,
Is Mine"?
yeah.
Right, Kelly and I would just we would sing it. We worked together for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And we would sing it, and we would just be like, "The boy is yours." Because I'm sorry, but if your boyfriend's cheating on you with Brandy and or Monica,
Yeah. Well, it's like
have him.
the Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson one as well, isn't it? The Girl Is Mine.
Is it?
Yeah. The girl is mine. The girl is mine. I mean, to be fair, this girl has obviously got a wide variety of taste in men. If she's got Paul on
With
one
both
side and Michael
Michael
Jackson,
and Paul.
fucking hell.
Yeah, that is a bit of a...
Yeah, but it's like you say, like later on in that song, it's like you could have your choice of men, but I could never love again. He's the only one for me.
I think
Jolene, it's like, do you know what? You're a fucking
mug
mug then. You're a mug, love.
Yeah. Do you know that Tim Minchin song about if I didn't have you, someone else would probably do?
I've
heard, I love you.
I've
it's
heard
really
it
good.
Once. Yeah.
It's such a good song. Because it's true. It's like, yeah, you might really be in love with this person, and of course you are, and that's great and that's beautiful, but
he's not worth it.
They're not the only person in the whole world.
No.
I think the problem is that as a society, we're too hung up on the idea of soulmates, and like there is one in a billion for you.
Yeah,
but if there's one in a million, there's still quite a lot of people out there for you.
Yeah.
I blame rom-coms.
Rom-coms. What
Disney? Should I blame Disney?
What, for romanticizing romance?
Yes, because romance isn't that romantic, really,
no,
is it?
It's not. Well, it can be,
but on the whole,
yeah, it's
love and a real relationship.
Yeah.
It's not a lovey-dovey.
Love is actually a lot of work.
Yeah,
and it's constant work as well. So, my God, if you're going to get worried, love, about some bank assistant flirting with your fella when he's trying to cash a check, move on.
Well, quite.
Move the fuck on.
Jeez Louise.
So when you was watching the program, the episode of Jolene,
yeah,
did you at any point think, oh, hang about, it's gonna be her. She's gonna fall in love with Jolene herself, and there's gonna be some lesbian thing going on?
No,
because I did, and I thought, well, that would be a twist to the song. Like, but can you imagine though?
Male.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, I mean, she was very attractive, Jolene. Don't get me wrong.
Well, yeah.
Redhead, eyes of emerald green,
ivory
skin. But that would be a good twist to the song.
That would be a good twist. I mean? Now that you've said it, I can see that there are a couple of scenes where
this woman has written this song, or she's in her head, she's singing this song saying, like, I don't want you to keep talking to my husband like you are. I'm really worried that it's going to affect our relationship. And then what if Jolene was to turn around and the twist is like, the only reason I've been talking to your husband is because I'm in love with you, or I want to get close to you. You know, again, that's probably a heterosexual.
No. That when you said that, there was a scene, I can't remember, but there was a scene where they were quite close together, and it was quite cheesy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really cheesy.
You know, and it was all very much like, I miss you and I love you.
Yeah, you know, when she runs to the bus stop.
Yeah, I thought they were going to kiss.
No, you hoped that they would kiss.
Yeah, well, I had dreams about Jolene that night. Fucking hell. Yeah.
Jolene and your wife.
Yeah, but Dolly, bless her, she's doing all right. I mean, how old is she now? In her 70s?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
You know more about Dolly Parton than I
She
do.
is a very, very savvy businesswoman. I'll give her that.
Oh, yes.
Fucking hell. Like, and watching that documentary from the word go, she knew exactly what she was doing. So the first song that she ever brought out as a single, she didn't write it, but they released the first country and western song she did was called I think it was called like I'm a Dumb Blonde or Dumb Blonde.
Right.
And it's all about how like it's all about don't judge a book by its cover just because I look like a dumb blonde.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, like
She's
fucking straight
she's
away.
so great.
Yeah, which is very.
And I will always love you.
Thank you.
It's true. But it's one of the best songs, isn't it?
Oh god, yeah.
And I know that everybody loves the Whitney Houston
Whitney,
version, and that's fine. It's a great
Do
song.
you know what though?
But Dolly wrote it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not just that she sang it. She wrote that song. And it's
so she wrote that in response to, I can't remember his name, but she used to do for 7 years, she did a country and western show. You know, like how in America they have like, it's not like in this country, like regional states have their own. You could set up a fucking studio in your attic or in
I've
your
watched Wayne's
basement.
World.
Yeah, and it's like that, isn't it? So
yeah,
there was a country and western
times.
show that went on for like 7 years, and she was a star of it. Well, she wasn't a star. She got I can't remember the guy's name, but he introduced her to it, and she became part of the act. And she then wanted to move on and do other things, and in response she wrote I Would Always Love You, because so it's always like if I should stay I will only be in your way, bittersweet memories, that is all I'm taking with me, but it's an amazing song. What I like about the Whitney Houston version is it is actually so different from the original. And apparently Dolly likes that as well. She loves the Whitney song.
Well, I like the Whitney version.
Yeah.
More now that Dolly's given her seal of approval.
Yeah. I mean, again, a savvy businesswoman. She said she made more money off of the Whitney song than a lot of stuff.
But I would be remiss of me if I didn't mention one of my favourite quotes from her, which is from I only found it because of that Netflix film Dumpling.
Yeah, go on.
Find out who you are and do it on purpose. Isn't that so great? It's cool. It's kind of one of those quotes though that if you break it down, it's like it doesn't really mean anything, but actually it does.
Yep.
It's funny. It's a funny one. I tell you what I really like about her. She came. I haven't watched the documentary, so I'm sure that you know much more than I do. But I do know that she came from such abject poverty, and there were so many children, and
she was one of 12.
Jeez, more than me.
Yeah,
one of 7.
Yeah, one of 12.
Yeah, and that though what I really like is that she got all this money, and instead of just being a prick about it, she invests in her community, and she invests in the wider community. Like she does all of these literacy schemes, even over here. Like you've got nothing to do with Liverpool, but it's just because she wants to help disadvantaged children. And I just think hats off, man. I like you so much.
Yeah.
She's far from a dumb blonde.
She's very clever, and it was quite interesting watching the doc because there was some clips of her doing a show in London, and probably in the 70s, 80s. It looked like there was fucking punks in the audience. They were like with mohawks and stuff, because clapping and applauding.
It's all about attitude.
Yeah, her fan base is huge. It's so wide and varied, and I don't want to sound I'm going to say it. So obviously there's the I don't want to be stereotypical, but there's them kind of Americans that obviously like country and western, who say maybe vote for a weird haired president. There's them kind of people that listen to her, but at the same time she's a fucking gay icon.
Yes.
When she's been asked like political views, or she's played her cards very close to her chest, and it's a big chest. Yeah. Sorry, now I'm just thinking about Dolly's boobs. Do you think they're real? Do you think they're?
Do I think they're real?
Yeah, or do you think they're?
They're absolutely not real.
I'll rephrase that question. Do you think they've always been fake, or do you think in the beginning they were normal? Because the girls started off in like the 70s, and they weren't doing boob jobs then, were they?
Yeah, they were.
What were they making them out of? Like old
old tissue paper,
footballs and sand.
No, that's one of the problems, was that in the 80s, the people that had breast augmentation, the materials that they used then were, 10 years later, were breaking down, and there was a lot of there were a lot of programs on BBC One that was sort of consumer affairs style, and there was just like horrendous boob job tragedy because of boob leakage, and so
where does
now
it leak from though?
Well, I think I'm right in saying that it was silicone and now it's saline.
Well, like not what the same as like a saline solution, like like
yes,
you get.
So you put it, so it's in in a sack.
But is it like a solid
the sack
version?
is no,
okay.
it's a wobbly jobbly thing.
Yeah.
And it's like in this sack that I suppose is I don't know what the plastic is, but previously it was either more solid or just all of it was silicone, but a kind of more liquidy silicone. And then there was this spate of horrendous tragedies, and so it means that now they're much safer, but there's still in the back of my mind this idea that, oh well, you're going to get an exploding boob, or you're going to get silicone leakage. But yeah, to be honest, I don't really know that much about breast augmentation because I've never really considered it as an option.
No,
Even,
I mean,
my boobs aren't massive, but they're not very small. But even if I was flat like a board, I once watched a documentary where they showed the operation in graphic detail, and it was so disgusting because they like lift your boob up, and then the guy was like, I don't know, almost punching it out to like stretch the skin a bit before he could put
like a fucking pillow.
Yeah, but it was like this kind of behavior.
Very vigorous.
It was very vigorous.
Ugh.
A friend of mine at the time I was watching it with, she was quite interested in getting a boob job, and I was like, what about now? And she was like, no, actually, it looks so violent.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, for a number of reasons, people, like, I'm not judging anyone for doing it. I know lots of people that have had them, and some of them you wouldn't guess at all because they haven't gone for like big mamas. And there are loads of reasons for it. And I, you know me, I'm not one to judge anyone's any decision that they make, because frankly, whatever, kudos. But it made me go, well, no, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why she got the boob job, because she was insecure about Jolene, and she was like,
I don't think we can blame Jolene for Dolly's
insecurities.
I'm looking up the history of breast augmentation.
Is there anything in there about Dolly Parton?
Maybe.
The founder of the breast implant.
First generation.
It's like a fucking iPod.
The Cronin-Garreau implant was 1963. It was silicone rubber envelope sac.
I mean, straight away, it doesn't sound that
already. That's what I want. In the 1970s.
Excuse me, doctor.
Manufacturers offered the second generation.
Right. Did that?
Which was Filagel of low cohesion silicone.
Fucking hell.
I mean, it just sounds awful, doesn't it? Filagel.
I mean, you might as well say mastic.
What's that stuff?
That's the bathroom sealer.
Yeah. But what's that stuff? You get the two bits. It's like really strong glue, and you have the this and the araldite.
Oh yeah. You have to mix it. It's like
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
Araldite.
it goes rock hard.
Yeah, I know. That
Which,
was the
well,
problem
to
in
be
the
fair, they
80s.
did go rock hard, didn't they?
That
Yeah.
is what happened.
I mean, I guess now if you had a boob job, they'd be a lot more natural.
Yes. So the fourth. Oh, okay. So the filler is saline solution in case of rupture, and has a natural feel like silicone
Is that
gel
because
implant.
saline's quite safe? Like, because obviously
It's
people put it
because
in their eyes and yeah,
it's
like,
because it is what's in your eyes.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
slightly salty water.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So if that
So if it
leaked, it wouldn't be a
ruptures,
problem.
you're all right.
Yeah.
But if a silicone
You just got a saggy boob.
back, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing, right? Anyway.
Oh, what happened to you? Oh, one of my boobs burst. No, don't worry.
I like
Don't
how
worry.
you sort of went into an Essex accent there, didn't you?
Oh well.
Oh, one of my boobs burst.
Don't worry. It's saline though. I can get it sorted. Yeah. I'll just pop down to the opticians and get 25 bottles of little saline solution. Okay, I'll just cry. I'll just cry into a boob until. Okay, now.
Tears on my pillow, tears on my boobs.
So do they recreate saline solution? They don't collect the tears, do they, from the eyes? I don't know. What the fuck they do? I don't know. They must like recreate it. So it can't be. It's got to be a fake saline. Then it's not like
what? So
natural human.
So you
saline.
think that like you know the saline solution you get from Specsavers for your contact lenses.
Yeah.
You think that someone's crying in a bottle?
Yeah.
Small slave children.
Yeah. Well, how else they do it? You know. Yeah, small slave children. While they're sewing up a T-shirt for Primark, they're crying and they're collecting.
Do you think there's one person that's being like prodded for?
No, that's made out of pigs, isn't it? Pig.
No, it used to be. Now it's not. It's everything is pretend.
I don't know. I just
we're living in a world that's.
Sorry, I should have said that.
That was like the worst porn.
I should have said that.
I just stick it in me.
Essex skills accent. I don't know. I just stick it in me.
I've been listening.
Oh, my boob's gone. Oh, my boob's gone.
Just stick it in me. I've been listening to Sarah Pascoe's latest book, and it's all about. It's called Sex, Power, Money or something, and there's a lot of sections about porn. So you saying that, just stick it in me.
Stick it in me. Yeah.
I've just had all day of listening about porn.
Again, though, old Dolly, she's again savvy. Like she used her sex appeal. I mean, she was a good singer.
Absolutely.
Good singer-songwriter anyway, still is. But I mean, for the blokes, they're like, "Oh, hello, look at this," and then
look at this big tit bird.
And then she opens her mouth, and actually, she is. I mean, even now. And you watch that program when she sings, you're like, fucking hell. Like there's some artists out there as they've got older, they've got worse, and they change the keys on all their songs, and because they can't reach the notes, and they're almost speaking the songs rather than singing it because but she goes for it. She can still do it. She's amazing.
No, but it's interesting that you say that you make that point actually, because the bit of the Sarah Pascoe book that I got up to and I paused was about the idea of your sexual capital, and that Sarah Pascoe saying she's quite uncomfortable with the idea, but that she's got a friend who's a stripper who's like, you need to sort of market your sexual appeal.
Yeah.
And sort of use it if and obviously if you're very sexy, you're going to have a higher sort of monetization about it.
Yeah.
And because she introduces this bit with the whole idea about men are expected to pay for meals if they go out on a date.
That's chivalry. Well, not chivalry, but
but it's so much bullshit, right? I can afford to buy my chips and whatever I'm buying, and I just think I agree with Sarah Pascoe when she says feminism wants equality, but then we sort of insist that you pay. Like you can't. It's such a double standard, and it is really fucking annoying. I don't like it.
I mean, I think from my point of view, I think the problem is that it's the intent, and like for me, paying for a lady's meal or opening a door for a lady, I'm doing it out of
But
politeness.
yes,
I'm doing
but
it out of
those are
politeness
two
because I
very
was.
different things,
They
right?
are, they are. But I mean, when it comes to the money side, I'm still saying, oh no, I'll buy this because that's just the way I've been brought up.
Of
That's
course.
not me
But
saying
that's
you
but
can't
that's
afford to
no,
pay
no,
for
no,
it.
no. It isn't you saying it, but it is society saying it.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
by reinforcing the idea that the man pays on the date is simply reinforcing the patriarchy, which is
Yeah,
not good for men or women. You know what I
no,
mean? It's not like
yeah.
I've got 4 brothers and I'm very much not a misandrist. You know, I don't dislike men in any way, shape, or form.
No,
And there are lots of things where, you know, my female friends will say, oh, my boyfriend said this. And I'm like, oh, I can kind of see it from your boyfriend's point of view, which I find interesting because I don't think I'm particularly masculine, but there are just some things that I understand are a male response. Like if I've had a bad day, my brothers and myself a little bit are solution based, but women tend to be, let's talk about your emotions about that. And I find
yeah,
that quite interesting. And because I'm a woman, but I was brought up with all these men, I do obviously need to think about my emotions, but
yeah.
I am very solution based. So I think that's really fascinating. That's not to say that all men are like that, all women are like that, but it is a very
No.
masculine thing, isn't it? So, like Kelly was saying to me yesterday, oh, you know, but you're really practical. And I thought, yeah, that's because of my brother Philip, you know, and he essentially brought me up out of all of them. So I'm like, of
Yeah.
course I'm practical.
But then
But
on the flip side of that, I feel like I'm quite emotional for a guy
you are, yes.
because I was brought up primarily with my mum and my sister. So
And I think that's partly why our friendship is so great because
yeah, yin and yang, isn't it?
we do, yes. And then
Yeah,
together it's like yin and yang squared.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Because we've
Love
got
it.
like extra
Yeah.
fucking notches to our buckle or
Well,
fucking,
quite.
I don't know,
Yeah, whatever.
whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so I
More
think
notches to our bedpost. Yeah.
oh, my bedpost. Well, I don't really have a bedpost.
Mm,
You've not been here, but it is
no.
basically a mattress on the floor.
Yeah, well, at least it's a mattress. Some people haven't even got that. You know.
Sure, but I don't think they're paying money.
No,
Are you comparing me to a homeless person?
no, I'm not. I'm just saying.
All
You
right,
know,
good.
we don't know. We don't know these things. Like we don't
No,
know.
but
Like we don't know the real story of Jolene. She could have been a really nice person.
I'm sure she was. It's not about Jolene. It's about Dolly. You know, it's about the singer.
Mm,
It's
yeah.
about her being insecure
Mm.
and her basing her opinion of her self-worth on what her husband thinks.
Yeah.
Ain't that a shame?
Ain't that a shame? As Fats Domino once sung. He wasn't insecure. He went for it.
Oh yeah.
She says, doesn't she, at the beginning of the program that the name comes from a fan or something, that she wrote an autograph for someone and said, "Oh, what's your name?" Like a little girl or something. She said Jolene. She was like, "Oh, what a pretty name. I'll use that one day in a song." Do you think the little girl was like, "Well, fucking hell, thanks for that"?
Fucking hell, Dolly.
When it came out, she was like, "Well, you've used my name, but all about some fucking womanizer."
A hussy, a
A
homewrecker.
hussy and a
That I
homewrecker
hate
and a
that. You know
womanizer.
that. You know, I
Not
really
Jolene the
fucking hate
womanizer,
it.
the husband's the womanizer.
Yeah, I really hate it when a man cheats on a woman
Yeah,
and the woman
yeah,
is the hoe. What a cut! Oh my, the slut,
yeah. Well,
slag.
she was called a whore in the program, wasn't she?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that whole bit where, do you know,
Whore!
that really fucking annoyed me actually, where Jolene says, "Oh, you know, I learned I shouldn't do that to another woman." Oh, do you know what? Like feminism aside, I'm just like ranting about it.
Yeah.
But like, it's not about her in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form. He's the one that's cheating. Like, I actually agree with Jolene at the beginning of the program about her
Yeah, I'm not
fucking
cheating because
husband.
I'm not married.
She's not
I'm not
cheating.
with anyone.
This might reveal too much about me.
No, but it's, it's an interesting point of view, though, isn't it? Especially when it comes to like affairs and shit.
In my life, all I've ever heard is people bad mouthing the other woman, and I remember not that long ago, an ex-colleague of mine, her friend's husband cheated on her with a woman at work.
Something about a colleague, her friend's husband.
Yeah, her friend's husband, and she was like, "That slut, that slag," and I was like,
yeah, what about the other guy?
I was like, whoa, she's not the one that's married. Yes, but Vicky, men can't keep it in their trousers.
So that excuses them, does it?
And I thought,
quite.
And I thought, and how reductive as well. Like, actually, how dare you? For once, not all men, one. Two, that doesn't excuse his behaviour at all.
Yeah.
And also, how do we know what lies he was telling the other woman? Because the amount of times my friends have been like, well, I'm seeing a man. Look, he's married, but he says they're separated. And then I go, well, all right, maybe, but maybe one in every
it's
million.
Not working out with his wife. He's leaving her at the moment.
And maybe that's true once in a while, but often that isn't the case. But people, not women, people want that to be true, right? They want to be the one that's the new relationship that is going to, I don't know, prove that they're worth something. I don't know, man. Love and sex are so complicated, aren't they?
Yeah.
And
but there's this attitude, isn't there? It's like if a man sleeps with like 20 women before the age of 25, he's considered a god. But if a woman sleeps, not even the age of 25, fucking before the age of 20, if a woman sleeps with that many men,
3 men,
20, she's a slag.
I know, and it's just so annoying. And we're in the 21st century now, and we've had the summer of love. That was 1969. Come on, guys, catch up.
Yeah.
It's true. And when it comes to Jolene, we have no proof that she even wanted to sleep with Dolly's husband.
No, I mean,
let alone actually, to be honest,
and because we're only assuming that it's Dolly, the narrator could be anyone. The husband, could be.
I mean,
the husband could be some fucking toothless 80-year-old git pervert who's saying the name of the bank assistant in his sleep because he fancies the arse off of her. But I mean, say that Jolene's going to sleep with him because he's a minger.
Oh, that's my problem.
What? No, shut up. But just maybe this song is a metaphor for the complexities of love and sex.
Maybe. I mean,
you know what I mean?
I wouldn't put it past Dolly.
She's that fucking clever.
She is that fucking clever. Girl, blimey. I'm one bottle down.
Have you finished the one that I bought you?
Almost.
Was it nice? Did you enjoy it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good.
And it made my day so much better. I can't tell you.
Because it was alcohol.
Not at all. Do you know what's funny? The 2 surprise gifts that I've received in my life have both been from my very cool male friends.
Okay.
And, women are supposed to be the ones that are so like thoughtful and stuff. But in my case, that has been proven the opposite. That's not to say that my female friends aren't thoughtful and kind, but isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
And both alcohol related, sort of.
Because
my friend Ray sent me
we know you so
wine cooler. It's true. And you don't have a problem with not encouraging, but not being opposed to my drinking. Because it's not problematic drinking.
No.
Can I just say? Someone messaged me the other day and they were like, oh, were you drunk when you sent me that message? And I was like, I'm not always drunk. Just sometimes.
A few late ales. So what do you reckon happened to Jolene? Now, what's the sequel to this song?
Now I can't get that program out of my head. That's the problem. Is this noise annoying? Do you know what? I have always thought that Jolene has, well, not always, because
You've had many years to
remember
think about this
it's
song.
been a lot of
Yeah.
but more recently I've thought Jolene doesn't have a fucking clue who your husband is.
Yeah.
Your husband,
Yeah, she sees so many fucking customers every day.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with Jolene.
Yeah. So do you think she's like the head manager of like the Halifax now or something?
I hope so.
Yeah.
And I hope her job is secure in these difficult and uncertain times.
Yeah. So what do you think? All right, so if you think
I think Jolene is, you know, just having a high old time living her life.
Yeah.
She's probably like late 20s, early 30s, and Dolly's husband, or you know, the narrator's husband is like late 40s, early 50s, that midlife crisis time.
Yeah.
Probably wanting to buy a Harley Davidson,
and he's probably had an affair with someone by now.
Oh yeah, his secretary.
Yeah,
that's who he's had an affair with.
Yeah. Well,
and his secretary, let me tell you something about the secretary.
Yeah.
She's a really dowdy, frumpy kind of woman.
Right.
Because I read a thing once. Most people have an affair with somebody who is less attractive than their current partner.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wonder why that is.
I think because it's so not about love.
Do you know what? As a man, I know exactly what that is.
Go on.
I reckon it's because, and I've seen it happen.
Oh, this is going to be
I've seen
fascinating. Yeah, go on.
From my point of view is men crave attention and love.
Yes.
And I think that if you get to a point in your relationship where you're not getting that, if someone else is giving it to you, attention, then they, regardless of whether they don't, you know, aesthetically they don't look as attractive as your wife or partner or girlfriend, the fact that they're giving you affection makes them more attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like
I do.
It's that. It's
I do.
And also
I totally agree.
And also the person that's giving the affection, again, if we're looking at it just from an aesthetic point of view, and I don't want to offend at all, but from that point of view, that person may be thinking, oh my God, like I didn't ever think I'd get a chance with someone so hot like this bloke. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like it's an easy.
Of course it is.
You know,
which is why it's not about love. I agree with you. It's about attention and affection.
Yeah. But you know what? Yeah. Men of the world who are thinking about doing stupid things like this, put your effort and energy into actually making your marriage or your love life
absolutely.
work. And if it turns out that you don't love them anymore and don't want to be with them, then be honest and leave, because it'll be better all around. Like this woman,
of course it is.
Jolene, this woman singing this song, this Dolly. Do you know what? She's wasted more of her life worrying that her husband's a cheater.
But I mean,
that's all to do with Jolene. It's got nothing to do with Jolene. She's worrying more about her husband being a cheater. Do you know what? He might not actually be worth your time and worry.
But that's another thing, isn't it? Right, where some women are just really jealous women, and they spend so much time and energy worrying that their partner's cheating on them that I kind of don't blame the partner when they finally do cheat.
So this is the other thing. Sometimes the irony on, and again, nothing is ever black and white. No relationship is the same, and situations.
No, and we're for the purposes of this, we're obviously talking very broad strokes. Of course we are.
But the irony is that there are some cases where the other party would never dream of cheating, but have been not forced to, but have been
sort of encouraged, right?
Yeah, kind of, and have been so worn down by the other person's insecurity, and
that they just think, fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well.
Yeah. If she thinks I'm
Fuck
doing
it.
it anyway, or he thinks I'm doing it anyway, I might as
Then
well.
I might as well.
But
And
again,
this person's being nice to me and not being a naggy cow bag.
then you're not supposed to be with each other.
No, of course.
So
Yeah, but James, do you know how many fucking people I look at their relationship and I think, you two just ain't right for each other, and I don't know why you're bothering. Like, this is so much bullshit.
there's so much energy wasted. Fuck, man.
Right?
Like, and that's what I mean. If you're going to use up all that energy, use it on maybe trying to have
But you
fun
know,
and making your marriage work. And if it doesn't,
of course.
then off you
But
pop.
you know, I mean,
Go somewhere else.
there's a part of me, because I'm almost dead, I am waiting for the first wave or maybe second wave of divorces. So, you know, if it ain't gonna work,
So you're going to be like second or third marriage.
Hit me up, bitch. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But they might not have any money by that point. I might have to rethink
Oh, well,
my strategy.
you think with the divorce and stuff. They
Well, you
might
know,
lose
often the
everything.
men get fucked, don't they? Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah. Well,
I don't agree with that either.
This is the problem: is the men get fucked. You know, this is the issue. The men get fucked any which way but loose.
That's a good film.
Oh, Clint.
There aren't enough
Films of
orangutan
monkeys.
films.
No, there's Every Which
Not
Way
anymore.
But Loose. Every Which Way But Here. Well, there was a sequel, wasn't there? It was like,
There was a sequel.
I don't know what that one was. And the PG Tips ads. That's all I can think of. Oh, King Kong.
No, isn't Dunstan Checks In?
Oh, Dunstan Checks In. Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
There's a couple of Laurel and Hardy ones. They've got a monkey in.
We need more monkey.
George of the Jungle.
Exploitative. Is it
Tarzan.
exploitative? Is that the problem? Oh, you can't have any fun anymore with bloody PC culture gone mad.
Yeah. Well, they're fucking, banning,
well, they're not. That's the problem.
Banning everything left, right, and centre at the moment.
Oh, dude. Do you know this whole fucking thing is just a diversion?
Cool.
This whole like removing that episode of Faulty Towers and reporting on it, removing that episode of Golden Girls, whatever. It's all a diversionary tactic to deflect from making real change.
Yeah.
And it's so transparent.
Like, they've done something about it. Well, no, they haven't. Like taking an episode off the air isn't going to change.
It's not going to change systemic racism, is it? No.
You know, you got to do a lot more than that. Which is why I quite like Channel 4's stance of we don't, because they haven't taken off the blackface Peep Show episodes, and they've said we don't see how changing something that we made in a different time is going to affect the problems. Is going to change.
Well, it's like
we've
discussed this before about like Warner Brothers versus Song of the South in particular, where they on their DVDs that are like
when they have the disclaimers and stuff,
where like Whoopi Goldberg says, and then there's text that say, look, this is of its time and we do not have these opinions anymore, but it would be remiss of us to like literally whitewash the past. It wasn't perfect, and this is how far we've come.
And it wasn't,
right?
I mean, it's history.
No.
It's history.
Exactly. And it's a historical document. Like, I do not, and I know that this is going to be controversial, I do not agree with that Hitler guy. I think he was a bit much.
He was a bit of a dick.
And the more I hear about him, the more I'm like, well, he was a bit extreme. But I would be interested in reading Mein Kampf because it's an interesting historical document. That doesn't explain anything because he's a fucking lunatic and that was the end of it, but kind of gives you an insight into the inner workings of a fucking lunatic.
Yeah. I mean, surely the point should be, especially like with Song of the South, like, I love it. It's such a good film. I love it. It's a great Disney film. I get the issues with it, but surely it should it should be more about this was the attitude then, it's not the attitude now. Don't fucking sweep it under. Don't sweep it under the carpet.
No, exactly.
Because what'll happen is one day someone will pull up that carpet and find it.
It's just like, and I know that this is a little bit more sort of nuanced and difficult, but it's just like when the left now are like, let's no platform somebody because we disagree with them. We don't want to hear them at all. And I'm like, I kind of see what you're talking about, but by removing somebody's voice.
Yeah.
I mean, here's where it's a double-edged sword, right? On the one hand, you remove their voice, so you give them more power by them being like, oh, look at what I'm saying is so true and so great that these people don't want to hear me. And we would hope that sensible people would listen to their insanity and say, oh, that's just fucking insanity. And unfortunately, it has been proven that people listen to insanity and some people go, oh yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah. So I sort of got lost in the middle of my argument because I was arguing for myself, but and not because I'm drunk, because I'm actually not that drunk. Because I don't agree with no platforming, because I do think that it drives extreme opinions underground where I think it's more dangerous.
Yeah.
Because then people meet in hypothetical darkened corners of in this case nowadays the web.
Yeah.
Where they have the opportunity to rile each other up, right? And I just think that, isn't it nicer? I mean, this is partly the point of this podcast, right? Sometimes you and I do disagree on things, but in such a respectful way that I walk away, I don't know about you, but I walk away thinking, I never thought of that. That's a really good point, actually. And I think it's more important to have a dialogue. I think it's important to have a dialogue with everything about everything.
Yeah.
Because
I don't agree with this hiding things. I don't.
No, because
you're not learning from it.
You give it a lot of power and you're not learning from it. And I just think it's really important to be heard, even if what you're saying is fucking shit. You need to be heard in order that you can have a discussion and a conversation, and hopefully maybe you're not going to change these extremist minds, and that's fine, but you might change their fans' minds because you've been so open and receptive to understand why they feel this way. A lot of prejudice and racism and hatred and anyism is rooted in fear and anger. And if you remove that fear and anger, then you can have a real conversation, and then you can really open somebody's eyes up to be like, yeah, but you know what? Like, you're wrong. You know what I mean? In the nicest possible way, you're wrong. And I know that it's few and far between, but even if it's only one person that you change, isn't that good enough?
You almost want to say to I had to have this talk with you. My happiness depends on you and whatever you decide to do, Jolene.
Yeah, I forgot that we were talking about Jolene. I just went off on a different.
But you're so right. You're so right.
Cut that bit out and put it somewhere else.
No, but you are so right though, and going back to the song.
Do with that as you will.
No, but everything you said there is reflective in that song. Having a chat and talking these things through. I just think
communication is so important. Yeah. Well, to take it back, to take the idea of communication.
If she hadn't have wrote this song, she could have fucking stabbed the husband in the heart while he slept, saying fucking joke.
How many times?
But she didn't. She wrote a song instead.
How many times do you like? Okay, maybe it's only sort of fiction wise, but how many times are you aware of where somebody's got an issue, whether it be in a relationship or not, like maybe a friendship or whatever, and they come to you and they say, oh my god, James, I can't believe that Susan said this thing about me. And then you know, Susan comes to you and says, oh my God, I can't believe Vicky said this thing about me. And
Susan
you're
said something
like,
about me.
no, no, she said hi. That's what she said.
Fine. No.
And you think, if you two just spoke to each other,
yeah.
this would be resolved
Yeah.
in seconds.
Yeah.
And everything would be fine. But
Yeah.
instead, everybody's just sitting there in their own little fucking stew of anxiety and hatred and anger and rage, and nothing is accomplished. And the amount of times that I speak with people and I'm just like, oh my God, just talk to them and say, you know what, you're like, you hurt my feelings. It's a valid thing to say. I know it might sound pathetic to tell somebody that your feelings are hurt, and so what, your feelings are hurt, but you can say to somebody, you know, James, you said a thing the other day, and I know you didn't mean it, but my feelings were hurt. And I just want you to be aware that, you know, the words that you use were very hurtful in that moment.
Yeah.
And I just sort of want to give you the opportunity. I mean, this is the thing, is that for good or bad, I'm very straight with people. And I will say, well, you hurt my feelings and it made me feel sad and it put me in a bad mood. And so when you then text me, I was a bit short with you because my feelings were hurt because you made me feel sad, you know. And it sounds really lame when you like say it in black and white, if you like, but it's the truth. And I learned from the half mini relationship that I've ever been in that honesty is better. It's not the best policy, because sometimes white lies are good, and you know, don't be a dick is our mantra. But actually, what can you do if somebody's being honest with you? What can you do with that? Like, that is the truth. That's their truth. Anyway, there was a point there somewhere.
Do you know what? This fucking
find it.
No, but you saying that, this fucking song, there's so many layers to it now. Because now I'm like, well, actually, maybe she's in the right, because she's, you know.
Welcome to the last 20 years of my life, James.
No, fucking see now what you've done, because now I'm thinking, well, no, actually, maybe the narrator isn't an insecure person. Maybe she's like, well, look, I just need to get out in the open. Maybe she's actually fucking really wise and shit. What you've now done.
Yeah, but I think she is insecure, though.
No, but
I think the fundamental point.
You've exercised your demons and fucking passed them on to me now.
Yeah, well,
now
that's like in the thing, innit?
Yeah, you've just dinged me up with Dolly Parton's Jolene, and I'm going to spend the rest of my. You're fine.
Yes!
Walk off.
Yes.
And
I'm free. I'm finally free.
I'll have to infect some other poor sap in 20 years' time.
All right, do
it. Jesus.
Oh, you can introduce your child to Jolene, and be.
I'm not going to do it to my child, am I?
Oh, I don't know.
It's got to go to someone that you
don't like.
Well, thanks for that. Cheers.
I know. I do feel kind of satisfied in my mind that I have analysed it enough properly with outside sources and citations to put it to rest. So the next time it's on, and it will be on tomorrow during my work day, I will just be able to listen to it. And I am looking forward to that, because that's going to be amazing. It's going to be the first time in about 20 years where I can just, listen to a song that's really great and not overanalyze the fuck out of it, because I did it. I've done it now. I've overanalyzed it and I've discussed it and we've picked it apart and it's done. Tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day.
I disagree. I'm taking umbrage with all of that you've just said, because what you've done, you've written a blog about Jolene. Yeah. You've now done a podcast about Jolene to exercise your demons. What you've done, you've created. This isn't the thing. This is something like, this is some Ring bullshit. This is like the Ring. So like now, everyone that reads this blog.
Good.
Or listens to this podcast about Jolene is now going to get possessed by the fucking thoughts of Jolene.
Fine.
You've created some Dolly Parton horror film, and just
Well, look,
fucking just presented it to the masses.
I
say masses,
don't care.
the 3 people that listen to this. But
we have at least 40
fucking
listeners.
hell. It's like one of them fucking like
The
cast in the runes, M.R. James passing off some.
I didn't mean to.
But the curse is written in a country and western song. To be fair, most of the fucking country and western songs are cursed.
Well,
I don't mind country and western. Do you know what? I'll take that back because I
it's
like
the most popular music genre in America.
Do you not find it really funny though how with country and western music it's very literal. Like there's never any like I mean it is poetry, but there's never anything to make you think. It's
There's no nuance.
No, it's very much like I've heard songs where it's like I got up and I went to the fridge and I picked up a beer, and it's like it's so on the nose.
Well, it's funny because it's very similar to flamenco songs. You know, the ones that are really miserable.
Yes.
You know, the ones that are like, and then my mum starts crying, and then I say, oh, what's this song about, Mum? And she's like, oh, well, it's about this woman and her husband left her and now she's really starving and she's got
Jolene.
7 kids. And, yeah. And I'm like, why are you listening to this, man?
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand it, and it sounds so depressing. Like even I'm moved to tears and I don't know what they're saying. And then my mum explains it to me. She's like, one of them, I swear to you, maybe my mum's lying. It's possible. One of them is about a bull
in a china shop.
No, who was going to get killed, but there's a little boy and the little boy loves him. And then they take the bull.
A giant fucking bull?
Yeah.
What, and the little boy takes the bull by the horns?
I think no. Yeah. No, I think the bull gets killed because that's what happens in Spanish football fight. Yeah, exact. That's why they're crying.
This is like Dolly Parton's Little Andy song, but with a bull.
Is it? I literally okay. I'm not proud of this, but I only know 2 Dolly Parton songs, Jolene and 9 to 5. Have you seen it?
What, 9 to 5?
Yeah.
Not for years.
Well, I currently do a job that's Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And so whenever anyone asks me, where are you, what are your hours?
Yeah, 9 to 5. Straight away. I
say, working 9 till 5. What a way to make a living.
Yeah. So do we like Dolly? I mean,
of course.
I only know of a hit
much
more than anything, but I feel that after watching the doc and talking to you more about Jolene, which I knew the song very well. I knew she was a good songwriter, but now I've spoke to you, I'm like, do you know what? I might actually dip my toe more. I might stick my whole foot in the pool of Dolly. The Dolly Parton. I actually feel sorry for Jolene.
Me too, because she did nothing that was untoward.
No, but like after talking to you about it, I'm kind of like, she, as you say, she might not even fucking know anything about this.
I don't think she does.
Jolene might be happily married.
You're right.
She might be some bank clerk. She might be gay. She might be some bank clerk. Goes home after working 9 to 5.
Chills out. Way to make a living.
And then chills at home with her partner. And they're like, oh, how was it?
And her dog.
And her dog.
And her cat.
Yeah.
She might be.
And she's like, but she's just a friendly person. And she just has a rapport with all the customers.
Do you know?
Everyone loves Jolene. Everybody loves Jolene. That's an American sitcom. Wait to happen. Everybody loves Jolene.
I have been accused of flirting with people that I absolutely have not been flirting with, because when I want to be, I'm a very nice person.
And that's what I'm saying. Maybe like
I know. And so
Jolene's
actually,
just nice. Maybe she's
just that
nice
my hair isn't auburn and I don't look like a demon.
Flaming locks of auburn
sexy
hair.
Demon.
Flaming locks of auburn hair. Which it makes me laugh because she weren't unattractive, was she, Dolly Parton?
No.
So
although I must say,
The wigs or the now? I mean, it's a bit different because she's got older.
But I just feel so.
I do think
Joan Rivers. It's like, mate, you've
I
gone too far.
Yeah, I do think. And Helen Mirren's a prime example of this, of the older lady. Don't touch yourself.
Some of us have no other option.
I mean, in terms of surgery and stuff. Like, grow old gracefully.
I agree.
Because actually, I mean, I think for her age, I mean, Helen Mirren is absolutely stunning.
Absolutely.
She's absolutely stunning. And I know I'm not a young man, but I'm a lot younger than Helen Mirren.
James,
but my God,
I need to stop this now because we've taken this joke too far now. We're very young. We're only in our 30s. That's what we need to keep saying. Okay. We're in our 30s.
Are we being too negative, are we?
I think maybe.
Okay.
I want to stop it now.
Yeah, because
even though we're nearly 40 and we're almost dead.
I've still got 5 years.
Well, and you know that I agree with you. Yeah.
So actually, you're right because but you're right though, because what'll happen is we'll get to 40 and then we'll be like, oh fuck, like we spent most of our 30 saying we were nearly 40. Yeah. So let's enjoy the 30 while it lasts.
Yes. So let's try, and then when
do you know what? When we get to 40, let's fucking enjoy the 40.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. Yeah. Also, what I've noticed, because I have to listen to the podcast. I mean, you listen to it a lot more than I do. Yeah, unfortunately,
I do.
I say yeah. Way too much.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all right.
This podcast has made me very self-conscious of my voice.
I think it's going to make the best out of me. I think every time I listen to it, I'm like, no, I don't want to sound like that anymore. So it'll be a case of we'll get to like episode 55 and people who have come to the podcast and they'll be like, God, James sounds really different in the beginning. But basically,
I always knew that my laugh was a cackle.
Yeah, my goal is by the time I'm 50, so I've only got 15 years.
10 minutes left.
Yeah. I want to sound like Simon Callow.
Wow.
But that isn't going to happen, is it? Although, maybe it will when I've moved out of Gravesend.
This has been a Head Full of Straw production of Vicky Goes On and On with Vicky Stokes and James Wells.